Gravity FM 97.2. I'm at the Waddington Air Show. I'm with a gentleman called Paul Smith. Paul, a very good morning to you.
Morning, how you doing? It's a cracking day for an air display, I would have said today. I'm the chief pilot of the Links and Knots Air Ambulance, and you've come over to the stand here where we're doing a static display and raising awareness of what we do.
Yeah, you do a wonderful job for our community, Paul.
Well, thanks very much. It's a privilege to do that job, to be honest.
Yeah, it is. Personally, I find it disappointing that the air ambulance has to survive on charity.
It's a shame in some respects, but it's a great example of community supporting themselves on the other hand, and the community supports us extremely well. They should be very proud of the efforts they make. It's a very expensive, complicated enterprise to run, and the community has got themselves together years and years ago. It's run efficiently, it's run well. Anybody who puts anything in the box, puts fuel in the tank, nobody knows when they're going to need it next, and it's always available to them, so I think they should be proud of themselves. Yes, it would be nice to get some government or local government funding and maybe tax relief or something on the fuel. I don't know, I'm not a politician, but whilst that doesn't happen, the communities that raise funds for this and organise it should be extremely proud of themselves.
Absolutely wonderful comment that was, Paul. Paul, how long have you been flying the air ambulance?
This particular one since January last year. I took over from the previous chief pilot who retired. I've been flying air ambulance and police machines for the last 7 or 8 years, so a bit of variety around the country. I started full time here then.
Okay, you must come across some difficult cases that you attend.
We see a very broad spectrum of incidents, ranging from fairly simple falls and farming accidents where access is a key factor. What can be a fairly simple sort of medical job is very complicated simply because it's in the middle of a muddy field or a forest or something like that, right through to large RTCs, large accidents on the roads round about. And every job's different. You never know what you're going to go to at all. You don't know what you're going to find and who you're going to find.
Yeah. Paul, how valuable would you say that is to our community, being a very large rural Lincolnshire community?
It's hugely valuable. So in a year and a half, I can hand on heart say I've done some very, very life-changing jobs for individuals. We're busy. We do, I think it's on average 3 or 4 jobs per day. We respond to roughly 1,000 shouts a year. I think something in the region of 40% of them we carry to hospital. Something in the region of 30% the crews assist on scene, and if appropriate they will accompany the casualty to an appropriate trauma centre. And then the rest is just sort of run-of-the-mill stand-downs or whatever like that. But we are extremely busy, and there are a lot of people. People tend to stay in touch with us, and they let us know personally how important it is to them, which is humbling.
Paul, how many pilots do you have, and how many back-in team do you have? Support team, mechanics, and that kind of personnel?
The company who run the aircraft and provide the pilotage and maintenance comes from Gloucester. It's a company called Police Aviation Services. They do a broad range of air support aircraft. And I fly with one other full-time pilot. I work 4 days on and 4 days off, and we work back to back. My parent company then provides relief pilotage on days when Tim and I are unavailable, leave generally speaking. So,
yes. Yeah. Paul, just regarding Grantham Hospital in particular, because Gravity FM we broadcast from the Grantham area.
Right.
How often do you use Grantham Hospital? Is it one of the main places that you would attend, or are resources being put in other directions, should I say?
What's happening, particularly with the sort of jobs that we end up doing, because they tend to be major trauma. I believe the pathway is that we are allowed a protocol which allows us to take the individual to the most appropriate centre. If it's a big trauma job, it tends to be Nottingham Queens, because that's our regional trauma centre. We have another couple we can go to. Hull we would take to for major trauma and head injuries, Sheffield, Derby for specialist hand treatment, etc, etc. So we'll take to the most appropriate, but we don't rule out anything. If weather's bad and the most appropriate resource to take it to is Grantham Hospital, we'll take to Grantham Hospital. Lincoln, Boston, we have a huge range of facilities that we take the casualty to.
Okay, how long would it take you then, Paul, to get from Grantham to Nottingham with the air ambulance?
About 9 minutes. Something like that, yeah. Depends on which way the wind's coming. I suppose you could be up to about quarter of an hour, but you certainly be no more than quarter of an hour.
Okay. The helicopter that you have here, Paul, how many do you actually have in service?
We've got one. Lynx Knots have got one, and it runs 365 days a year. When it goes away for maintenance, we get a replacement aircraft in, and also for a day like this where you've got a static display, there is a replacement aircraft which positions over at Gamston Airfield, so we don't lose any cover on a day like this or when there's maintenance. So
okay, so this is just a static display, is that?
Today this is a static display, so people can get up close and see the aircraft, see what it is that they're supporting, but all the while there's still another machine that we have on backup, as it were, from the parent company who look after it.
Okay, so we wouldn't expect you to see you flying up in an emergency.
We're not going to be leaving from
today.
this site today, no. Too many things to blow away from here.
What does it actually cost, Paul, to keep that in the air?
I think they estimate something in the region of 1.8 million a year for the whole package, which sounds an awful lot of money, but in terms of running a state-of-the-art aircraft, it's actually extremely cost-effective. It's an efficient machine, and it's run efficiently. The charity is a very efficiently run organisation.
Paul, thank you very much indeed.
Pleasure.
Really appreciate
nice
it.
To meet you. Nice
thank
to
you
meet
very much indeed.
Enjoy your day.
Cheers, mate. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, no worries at all.